As the very first question today, people will take in your tutorial. Question number 4. Question number 4. Question number 4. Part B. Under part B, first part. Under part B, first part, people. Yeah. First thing given there, using the substitution u equals x squared. Solve this. Then x to the power 4 minus 2x squared plus 1 equals 0. This is an equation of fourth power, not a quadratic one at the moment. Right. Now, asking to find, solve means, people, solve means find x. Solve means find x. Find the value of x. Solve means that. To solve that, we are asked to take, people, the substitution u equals x squared. Right? Substitution is u equals x squared. Then I take this equation again, x to the power 4 minus 2x squared plus 1 equals 0. Okay. This x to the power 4 we can write, people, like this. X squared to the power 2. Correct, no? When you multiply this power and this power, we get 2 into 2, this 4 coming. Minus 2x squared plus 1 equals 0. Right? Now, we are given a substitution u equals x squared. That means for every x squared, we have to put u. And then this is, people, u. U squared. This is u now, right? Because x squared is u now. This is u. Then u squared minus this x squared is again u. 2u. This is, people, plus 1 equals 0. Okay. Right. Now you can see here, people. You get now you get a quadratic equation, right? Now you get a quadratic equation in simple u. People, what is this quadratic equation? How to find its roots? You can very clearly understand. When I try to factorize this, this is nothing but u minus 1 perfect square, no? These 3 together, when you consider, equals 0. Why, people? If you expand this by using a minus b squared, what are the terms you get in the expansion? Square of this, u squared. Middle term, minus sign coming, this multiplied by this, and again multiplied by 2, 2u. And 1 squared, minus 1 squared is plus 1, this is coming. Then this is really u minus 1 perfect squared equals 0. People, now this u minus 1 perfect squared should be equal to 0. For the perfect square of this u minus 1 to be 0, definitely this u minus 1 should be equal to 0. Right? 0 squared only, people, 0. Of any other real number, perfect square is positive. If the perfect square of a real number is 0, people, definitely that real number should be 0. So therefore, for this to occur, you can write u minus 1 should be equal to 0. People, this gives us u equals 1, taking this minus 1 to right hand side. Okay. Then, people, this equation contains x, right? Equation contains x. We have to give answer for this x. But we have obtained the answer for u. But we have the relation between u and x. U is x squared. Then what I do, people? this answer of u, we put where here. Then we can find two answers for x, right? And then you can write like this. U equals x squared. Substitute for this u, the value we found 1 equals x squared. Now this gives us, people, 1 equals x squared means x squared equals 1. That gives us, people, take the square root of 1. We have to put plus or minus, no? You know, when we take the square root, we have to put plus or minus, no? Right? X is plus or minus root 1. Therefore, x has two answers. Root 1 is, people, what? 1, no? Then x has two answers. Therefore, the solutions are x equals 1 and x equals minus 1. This is how we take that answer, people. Right. 1 and minus 1. That's how, people, we take that one. Right. Take it second part. Question number 4, part B, second part. Take second part. Right. Using the substitution, u equals x to the power 1/3. Solve the equation this. X to the power 2/3 plus 2x to the power 1/3 minus 3 equals 0. This is the equation. Now we have to solve, people. There also, you are given a substitution. U equals x to the power 1/3. Right. Now I can start to solve this equation like this. People, this x to the power 2/3 I can write x to the power 1/3 whole to the power 2 this way. You know, people, when we write this way, when we simplify this, what we do is this inner power 1/3 we multiply with this outer power 2. Then 1/3 multiplied by 2, people, we get 1 into 2 is 2 divided by 3. This power 2/3 coming by simplifying this. Okay. Then here 2x to the power 1/3 minus 3 equals 0. Right? Then for this x to the power 1/3, we can put u. This is u now. Then this is u squared plus here 2 times x to the power 1/3 here u minus 3 equals 0. Then again we get, people, quadratic equation in simple u. Okay. Now you can factorize this. We'll find two answers for you. People, what are the factors of this? We can write it as u plus 3 u minus 1. Okay. Then we get, people, u plus 3 equals 0 or u equals 1. U minus 1 equals 0. Okay. Now by this you can take the answer for u minus 3 or u equals 1, like this. There were two answers we found for u, but we should give the answer for x, right? because this given equation involved in the unknown x. We use this u for our convenience of solving this. Now what we do is, there are two values for u, then we have to find the corresponding values for x, right? How, people? You can find it like this. First one, when u equals -3, right? What is the relation between u and x? Right. U equals x to the power 1/3, no. U is -3 mean, people, substitute for this u -3. X to the power 1/3. To find this x, people, finding x means we need to find x to the power 1. We need to find x to the power 1. But here we have x to the power 1/3. Then what we do, we take both sides to the power 3, like this. Then here we get -3 to the power 3. What is that? -3 into -3 into -3. It is -27. Here, people, this 1/3 and this 3, when you multiply, what do you get? 1/3 multiplied by 3 means, people, this and this you can cancel down, we get 1. Then we get x to the power 1. X to the power 1 means, people, x. Therefore, one answer for x is -27. One answer for x is -27. That is when u equals -3. The other one, people, u equals 1. U equals 1, right? When u equals 1, second, you can take, people, the answer when u equals 1, right? Number 2, when u equals 1. Again, between u and x relation we know, u equals x to the power 1/3. Then I can write, I did substitute for this u, it's 1, x to the power 1/3, right? X to the power 1/3. Now again we take the power 3 on both sides. Then what do you get? 1 to the power 3 to the left hand side, x to the power 1/3 whole thing to the power 3. 1/3 multiplied by 3 means, people, 1. Then right hand side, x to the power 1, that is x. 1 to the power 3 is 1. 1 equals x, x equals 1. Therefore, these are the two solutions, people, right? Okay. Now we'll come to its third part. I'll give you 2 minutes. Just try this third part in it. Third part of question number 4. Take that, people. Right, people. Now see, the question is this. Third part. Solve this. It is 2 plus x divided by 3 plus 6 minus 4 times 3 plus x divided by 2 plus 6 equals 3. Equal this square root of 3 plus 6 divided by 2 plus 6. I can write here of this whole fraction, the square root taken, no, people? Of the whole fraction, the square root taken. That, of course, we can write taking the square roots of numerator and denominator separately and dividing like this. Right, people? This way. We can write it like this. Okay. Okay, no? Yeah. Now, for this, you can take one example. Suppose here 100 divided by 4 root. Really, 100 divided by 4 is 25. This is 25. Its root, it is 5 people. Okay. Now, what if we do this way? 100 divided by 4 root. I write this one. How, people? Root of 100, root of 4. Root of 100 is 10. Root of 4 is 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. The same as this comes. Like that, we can write over there. People, now, here we have 3 plus 6 divided by 2 plus 6. Okay. Then I can write. Now, see what you have here. Now, I'm going to take this way. 2 plus x root, right, divided by 3 plus x root. This way I take. Okay. Then how to write this? I have taken reciprocal of this. I interchange the numerator and denominator. That's what here we have. Then this root and this root, for both I can write single root by using the converse result we learned just now. Then for this root and this root, I can put single root, and inside the root, people, now I can write this. 2 plus x divided by 3 plus x. Understand? Okay. Now, can you understand this thing? I'm going to take this as, people, y. Y or any letter. Suppose I take u as this. Right. U is this. Right. I'll write that here also. U is this one. This is taken as u. 2 plus 6 divided by 3 plus 6. Right. Then I can write this right hand side, taking the root of the numerator and denominator. Right. People, now on the left hand side, what do we have? U divided by 1. No? Now we take both sides reciprocal. Then once we take reciprocal, we get 1 goes to numerator, u comes to denominator. 1 upon u equals this way. 3 plus x root divided by root of 2 plus 6. Right, people. Then for this 2 square roots, I can put the single square root like this. Like this. Okay. People, then if I take this as our u, this 3 plus 6 divided by 2 plus 6 square root, that means this, no? What is this? It is 1 upon u. Okay. So then I can write in terms of u this equation again. This is now u minus 4 times this whole part is this, it is 1 upon u. Understood? 1 upon u equals 3. We get like that. Okay. Now, what I do is, people, I multiply this both sides by u. We multiply both sides by u, people. Then this term, and this term. All these 3 terms we should multiply by u. Our purpose is to eliminate this u here. Then u multiplied by this u means, people, u squared. And if I write this multiplier before here, before this 4, that u and this u will cancel off. Then we get minus 4 into 1 is minus 4. equals 3 into u is 3u. Okay. Now take this 3u to this side. U squared minus 3u minus 4 equals 0. Now we got people a quadratic equation in u. Now we can factorize this. We can factorize this. What are the factors? Right? What are the factors, people? Here we can write it is u plus 1 and u minus 4. Correct? No? 1 into minus 4 is minus 4 coming. And here minus 4u plus u minus 3u. Then we can equate this to 0 and this to 0. Thereby you can take two answers for u. Right. Now I can write now u plus 1 equals 0, or I erase this, people. U minus 4 equals 0. Take this right hand side, u equals minus 1, or u equals 4. There are two answers for u, people. Yeah. Now we need to find not u, people. We have to find x, because our initial equation involving the unknown x. Solve means that x only we need to find. We introduce new letter u for our convenience of doing this question. So then, people, answer should be put for x. Then I take first u equals 4. When u equals 4, right? U is this, no, people. Then 4 equals this. That means this equals 4. This we can write 2 plus x divided by 3 plus x is equal to this 4. Then to find this x, people, what I do is I square both sides, right? Squaring both sides. People, you know, when we square a square root, the square root will eliminate. The reason is this, no, people. Here, root x, when I consider, that is x to the power half, no. Squaring both sides means this, no. We have to take the power 2 on both sides, no. Like this. Then when I simplify the right hand side, this power half, we have to multiply with this 2, no. Half multiplied by 2 means what? 1. Then to the right hand side, what do you get? X to the power 1. That is nothing but x. So now in the left hand side, what do you have? Root x squared. Okay. Root x, root squared. What has happened? This answer, this x only here we have. Then we say once you square this way a root, once you square this way a root, people, the answer is this. The root sign will eliminate. That way we can remember this, no? Then, people, once you square the root in the left hand side will eliminate, but this 4 should be squared. 4 to the power 2, that is 16. So then what do you get? 2 plus x divided by 3 plus x equals 16. Okay. Now here, by this 3 plus x, we use the cross multiplication. Then what do you get? 2 plus x is equal to 16 times 3 plus x. Okay. Now remove bracket by multiplying this 16. Right. We get 2 plus x equals 48 plus, people, 16x plus 16x. Then we can bring this x to right hand side is 48 to left hand side. Then we get 2 minus 48, 16x minus x. This is, people, 15x. This is minus 46. Then x can be found dividing both sides by people 15. No? Yeah, bring this 15 here. Minus 46 divided by 15 is equal to x. Therefore, x is minus 46 upon 15. One answer for x we found. Okay. People, another u value we have, that is u equals minus 1. Right? Second one we take it like this. When u equals minus 1. Our u is what, people? This no? Right. I'm going to take that this way. 2 plus 6 divided by 3 plus 6. Root is u. It is now minus 1. This way. Okay. People, here you can very clearly understand. Now, this square root, before the square root, we have positive value, no, people. That means the left hand side, this whole arms is positive. Right now, usually people consider like this. When we consider this, suppose square root of 4. Right? Now, if we have something like this here, x squared is 4. Then what is x? Plus or minus square root of 4. That's correct. Then here we have, people, two answers for x. One is x equals plus root 4. But the other x? Minus root 4. This plus sign usually we don't write now, people. Then you must understand, with the square root, before the square root, if we don't have any sign, means it is positive. If the sign before this square root should be negative, we have to mention it like this. Otherwise, we select this answer as positive answer. Like that, you can very clearly understand, before this root, we have plus sign. Then the left hand side completely a positive answer. But this says the positive value in the left hand side is equal to negative 1. Can a positive real number be equal to what? Negative real number? No, then positive equal negative means, people, something happens. That in sense, impossible really. Therefore, the left hand side is obviously positive. That is equal to negative value means impossible. Therefore, by u equals minus 1, we won't get any solution. This is impossible. Right? This is impossible. Then u equals minus 1 does not give any solution. If you are not satisfying with these people, I can furthermore simplify to verify furthermore how it is impossible. Once you simplify another 2 steps, you can very easily understand that. People, or I can do it like this. We simplify this by squaring both sides. Then you can finally understand. Squaring both sides. What do you get? The root sign will eliminate in the left hand side. People, right hand side, this minus 1 we have to square, no? Minus 1 perfect squared means what, people? Minus 1 into minus 1, no? That is plus 1. And then we get 2 plus x upon 3 plus 6. Minus 1 perfect squared is plus 1. Then use the cross multiplication this way. Three plus x into 1. then we get this. Right? People, now I can bring this x to this side, to this side. X minus x coming, 3 minus 2 coming. X minus x means 0. 3 minus 2 is 1. 0 equals 1. We get. Is it possible, people? Huh? 0 equals 1 possible? No. Impossible. That is why I said here, this is impossible. That impossibility we can now explain this way. This is impossible. That is why we don't take that u equals minus 1. This is impossible. This is impossible. So therefore, in this case, for x, there is only one solution. This is that solution. Therefore, the solution of the given equation is what? That. And then you can write, therefore, the solution is x equals minus 46 by 15. This is how we take that. Right. People now take question number 4, part C. Question number 4, part C. Take part C. Question number 4, part C. Take that. Part C is this. We are given u. U equals x plus 1 upon x. Show that x squared plus 1 upon x squared is equal to u squared minus 2. Okay, right now. Then I'm going to people square both sides. Squaring both sides of this. What do you get? U squared x plus 1 upon x to the power 2. Okay. Then people, you can write. You can expand this by using a plus b perfect squared. What is that? Square of the first one. Plus 2 times product of this and this. X into 1 upon x. Plus square of this. Then 1 upon x square. You have to square 1. You have to square x. 1 squared is 1. X squared is x squared. Like this. You can cancel down this and this. So what do you have? U squared equals x squared plus 2 into 1. 2 plus 1 upon x squared. Now people, you can take this 2 to this side. U squared minus 2 is equal to x squared plus 1 upon x squared. Correct, no? And then this equals this. That gives the first answer. First one we found. First answer is okay. Right now? Yeah. Then people given hence solve. Hence means people with the help of this result. We have to solve this given equation. It is 4th power equation. Right. Then I'm going to take that. X to the power 4 minus 4x cubed minus 3x squared minus 4x plus 1 equals 0. This is the equation now we have to solve with the help of this result. People, this is what we do first. We divide the left hand side, all the terms, and the right hand side 0 by x squared. Each term in the left hand side we have divided by x squared. x4 divided by x squared minus 4x cubed divided by x squared minus 3x squared divided by x squared minus 4x divided by x squared plus 1 upon x squared equals 0. Okay. Then x to the power 4 divided by x squared mean we get x squared to the numerator like this. X cubed divided by x squared mean people we get x to the numerator. X squared and x squared we can cancel down. Here x and x squared means 1x coming to the denominator like this. And here we have 1 upon x squared. People, right hand side I didn't divide by x squared. Why? The reason is 0 divided by x squared. When we divide 0 by any value, the answer is 0. When you divide 0 by any value, answer is 0. So therefore, I didn't mention that by writing x squared. Then this is 0 now. Now people, this term x squared and 1 upon x squared I take together like this. Right. I take that together. And from this term and this term, you know, minus 4 here, minus 4 here. Minus 4 is common. Take minus 4 out. Once you take minus 4 out, here we have x. We know once you take minus sign out, that will be plus 1 upon x. And this is minus 3 equals 0. Now we are given people the substitution as u equals x plus 1 upon x. Then we proved x squared plus 1 upon x squared here is equal to u squared minus 2. So therefore, this place I can replace by u squared minus 2 minus 4 times x plus 1 upon x mean people here u. This is u minus 3 equals 0. Okay. Now here we have u squared, here minus 4u, minus 2 minus 3 is minus 5. This is equal to 0. Now we get people quadratic equation in u. Quadratic equation in u. Okay. You can find 2 answers for u by factorizing this. Right? Yeah. Take factors of this. U and here u plus 1 minus 5 are the factors. You can very clearly understand that the way of factorizing this. Now there are 2 answers. Equate this to 0 and this to 0. U plus 1 equals 0 or u minus 5 equals 0. U equals takes the right hand side minus 1 equals 5. Right, like this we have. And but people, we need to take the answer for x, not for u. Right. I'll first take u equals minus 1. But what is our u? X plus 1 upon x. Right. Then we take when u equals minus 1. What can we say there, people? U is now, u is x plus 1 upon x, no? Substitute for this u, the minus 1. Minus 1 equals x plus 1 upon x. Right? To convert this to quadratic equation in x, people, I multiply this by x, both sides. Minus 1 into multiplied by this x, what do we get? Minus 6. When you multiply this by x, we get x and x squared. This by x, this is 1. Okay. Now I take this minus 6 to right hand side. Then in the left hand side, what do we have, people? 0. Once you take this right hand side, that will be plus 6. X squared plus 6 plus 1, we get 0 equals this mean, people. This equals 0, no? X equals y mean, people, y equals 6, no? Right. So therefore 0 equals this means this equals 0. And then this implies as what, people? X squared plus x plus 1 equals 0. See here. We get a quadratic equation in x. Now we need to find, people, 2 answers for x by solving this quadratic equation. People, 2 answers. In order to find 2 answers for x, we should, of course, know whether this quadratic equation has real roots. It should have real roots. Otherwise, people, we can't find. If it has real roots, only we can find. You know, for a quadratic equation, the condition required to have real roots. What is the condition, people? The discriminant of the quadratic equation should be positive or zero. If the discriminant, that means delta. Delta is negative, people, no real roots. While the quadratic equation having negative value for its discriminant, if we try to find the roots, people, we can't find it. So therefore, best thing is to check whether this quadratic equation has real roots. For this, we can check its sign of its discriminant. Okay. Now, what is delta, people? Delta, how to write? B squared. B means the x coefficient. It's 1 squared minus 4 times. A means x squared coefficient. That's also 1. C is this constant. What is this, people? 1 squared is 1 minus 4. It is minus 3. Delta negative. If delta negative, people, this equation has no real roots. There's no point of going to factorize or anything doing, we can't find. Then when u equals minus 1, people, no real solutions for x, right? No solutions for x. Here we can write. You can write, therefore, no solutions. No solutions. When u equals minus 1, people, no solutions. Now we'll take u equals 5. We'll take u equals 5. Take u equals 5 and we'll see the roots. When u equals 5, put 5 here. X plus 1 upon x multiplied by x, people, 5x, x and x squared. When I write x before this, that x and this will cancel off, giving 1. We will now take this 5x to right hand side, then left hand side we have 0, x squared minus 5x plus 1. 0 equals, this means this equals 0. Right. Now, people, this has positive delta. You can check that. Then how to find the roots of this? Use that formula. What? X equals minus b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Because this can't be factorized. Right. So then you get 2 answers for x. Right. Substitute there, people. X equals minus b. B means x coefficient. It is minus 5. Plus or minus square root of b squared minus 5 squared. 4. A is 1. C also 1, people. Divided by 2 multiplied by a is 1. Then here minus minus plus. Plus or minus. Here 25. Minus 4. Divided by 2. X is 5 plus or minus, this is root 21 people, divided by 2. Then two answers can be obtained. How, people? Take the plus sign first, and then root 21 divided by 2. One answer is this. The other answer can be obtained taking the minus sign. This root 21 people you can find, right? It's 4 point something, no? Finding that answer by using logarithm or any other way, you can take two answers for this x substituting for root 21. Okay, no, people, right? That's how we finish that part. Right. Next one, take, people, question number 37 as the next question. Question number 37. Take question number 37. Question number 37. Take question number 37. Question number 37. You are given the roots of the equation is a times b minus c x squared plus b times c minus a x plus c times a minus b equals 0. This is a quadratic equation, people. Why? X squared term we have, x term we have, constant term we have, equals 0. This is a quadratic equation. This is a quadratic equation. We are given, people, this quadratic equation has coincident roots. Coincident roots means equal roots. People, what are the condition required to have equal roots? The discriminant of the quadratic equation should be equal to 0. Delta should be equal to 0. Delta should be equal to 0. People, if I take this as capital A, this one as capital B, this one as capital C, right? The discriminant delta, we write how, people? B squared here minus 4AC. That is the discriminant. This discriminant should be 0 to have coincident roots. Okay? And then you can write 4 coincident roots, delta should be equal to 0. Delta should be equal to 0. Delta is, people, this b squared minus 4AC equals 0. For this b, we have to put, people, this. For this a, we have to put this. For this c, we have to put this. Right? And we have to simplify this. Then we can show this answer. But, people, in this particular case, right, there is another easy way of getting this answer, another easy simplification we have. I'll explain that. I'm going to, people, take this as star. Right. Now, A is this simple A times B minus C, no? B, simple B times C minus C. C, simple C times A minus B. Okay. Now, in this particular question, people, I am going to add this ABC. Remember this method, right? Very easy to get the answer. Otherwise, this simplification, if we do, people, long simplification coming. Though we do long simplification, finally we get the answer, but I am explaining another easy way, right? Once you add this ABC, people, what happens? A mean what? AB minus AC. Right. Capital B means what, people? BC minus AB. C means people AC minus BC. AC minus BC. Right. AB and this AB you can cancel down. Minus AC you can cancel down with this. BC and minus BC can be cancelled down. What do you get? We get 0, people. We get 0. Right. Then A plus B plus C equals 0. People, I am going to subject capital B by this. Take this A and C to right hand side. What do you get? This will be minus A, this will be minus C. Minus A, minus C. Minus A, minus C. Minus A, minus C. Right? Now what I do, people? This B we have in star. That minus A, minus C we substitute for this B in star. Now put that there. Now by star. Now by star, what do you get? I substitute for this B, this minus A, minus C. Minus A, minus C is our B. Its perfect square. Minus 4AC equals 0. Okay, people. Now, here we can take minus sign out with a bracket and I can write it like this, no? This is the minus sign I took out from a bracket, but still that minus sign is inside this square bracket. Okay. Now minus 4AC equals 0. Now how to simplify this? Minus square. Minus square means minus multiplied by minus plus. And here what do you have? A plus C squared. A plus C squared. A plus C squared, how to write, people? A squared plus 2AC plus C squared. And here we have minus 4AC equals 0. Right now, people? Yeah. Now you can see very clearly here. This 2AC and this minus 4AC, when you simplify, it's like 2x minus 4x. If we take this AC product as capital X, this is 2x, over there minus 4x. 2x minus 4x, people, minus 2x. So then here once you simplify this and this, we get minus 2AC plus C squared equals 0. Right. Okay. I think up to here you can very clearly understand. Okay. Yeah. Now, people, what is this really? A squared minus 2AC plus C squared equals 0. This is really perfect squared of A minus C. A minus C perfect squared is this equals 0. A minus C perfect squared equals 0. Right? A minus C perfect squared equals 0. People, A minus C perfect squared is equal to 0. For the perfect square of a number to be 0, what is the condition? That number should be 0, people. Square any real number. If our answer comes as 0 after squaring, definitely we should have square 0, because square of any other real number will be positive. So therefore, for this to occur, people, this A minus C should be equal to 0. That says A equals C. A equals C. Right. Now we substitute for this A and this C by here. A is this, C is this, no? Right. Then people come up to that. A equals C. What is A? A is this. A times B minus C equals C. C times A minus B. Right. Now people, we remove the bracket. This way multiplying. Right? What do you get? AB here minus AC equals CA means AC minus BC. Right? Now, people, I take this to right hand side. I bring this to left hand side. You get AB. This minus BC, when you take this side, we get BC. This is AC. Take this right hand side plus AC. Then here we have on the right hand side 2AC. This is AB plus BC. Right. Now I divide both sides by the product of ABC. I divide both sides by the product of ABC. This term, and this term. We divide by ABC. Then what do we get? AB divided by ABC. BC divided by ABC. And 2AC divided by ABC. This way we divide. Then this AB and this AB you can cancel down. Here we get 1. This BC and this BC we can cancel down. We get 1. Here AC we can cancel down. We get 2 by B. And then what result you get here? 1 upon C plus 1 upon A equals 2 upon B. Then I can write this one, the same thing I can write 1 upon A plus 1 upon C. This 2 upon B I write, people, 2 times 1 upon B like this. Okay, this is the result we get at last. Right? This is the result we get at last. People, now, you know, in your O-levels, you have learnt about arithmetic progressions. Arithmetic progression. Right? Arithmetic progression mean what? Yeah. Shall I erase this now? I think you have taken down notes, no? What is meant by an arithmetic progression? Arithmetic progression mean, people, if I consider an example, see this example, I write like this: 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, 17. See here, the gap between these two, 3. Here, 3. Here, 3. This kind of number arrangement is called as, people, arithmetic progression. That same gap is called as the common difference of the arithmetic progression. Now, when we consider, people, any 3 consecutive terms of this arithmetic progression, for example, if I take these 2, 5, 8, and 11. People, among these 3 terms of the arithmetic progression, we can write a common property like this. The first and third, when you add, that sum is always equal to 2 times the middle. See here, 5 plus 11 is 16. 2 into 8 also, people, 16. That is the property. When you take any 3 consecutive terms from an arithmetic progression, people, the middle one, when you multiply by 2, that is equal to sum of the first one and the third one. Now, people, similar result here we have. If I consider 1 upon A and 1 upon C and 1 upon B. This is our first term, comma. This is our second term, comma. This is our third term. See here, 1 upon A plus 1 upon C. Here we have sum of this and this. In the left hand side we have. It is equal to what? 2 times, what is this? Middle. 1 upon B is middle. Then by this relation, what do you get, people? 1 upon A, 1 upon B, 1 upon C lie in an arithmetic progression. Understood? Huh? You can verify this result again taking another 3 people. If you take this 3, 2 and 8, 10. Multiply this 5 by 2, we get the 10. Understand? So therefore, this result gives us, people, 1 upon A, 1 upon B, 1 upon C lie in arithmetic progression. Therefore, you can write, therefore, 1 upon A, 1 upon B, 1 upon C lie in an arithmetic progression. Arithmetic progression. This is how, people, we take that answer, right? Yes. Right. Okay, people. Next question, people, we take question number 23. Question number 23. Take question number 23 as the next one. Take question number 23. Question number 23. Right. 23, there are 2 parts. We'll take the first part. Part 1. If x is real, what is meant by x is real? X is a real number. That's what meaning of x is real. X is a real number. Okay. If x is real, find the minimum and maximum value of this. What is the thing given there? X squared plus 14x plus 9. Okay, divided by x squared plus 2x plus 9. We are given. X is real. X is real. Right? Real x is real mean what? We can substitute for this x any real number. For example, if I put x is 1, what do you get? Here 1, here 14, then 15 plus 9 means 24. Numerator 24. Denominator, x is 1, here 1, here 2, 3. 3 plus 9 is 12. 24 divided by 12 is 2. Then this expression will take the answer 2. Like that, when you put any real number for this x, in this way simplified, for this fraction, we can take single answer. That answer is a real number. People, now when we put like this, how many real numbers we can substitute for this x? Many know, people, infinity. Infinity. Okay, infinity. Now, for every real number, when you substitute for x and when we simplify, as here obtained, we get a particular answer that is also a real number. Now, how many answers in that way we get? Infinity. Why, people? There are infinitely many real numbers we can substitute for this x. That's why we say we have this way infinitely many answers for this fraction we get. But people, when you consider all these answers, among these answers, people, one answer is maximum, another answer is minimum. Now we are asked to determine what is that maximum answer and the minimum answer. Now can you understand the question, people? We need to find what is then that maximum answer and the minimum answer. Then all the rest answers lie between that maximum value and minimum value of the answers. Understood? Okay, I think now you could understand what is the question really. Okay, then people, this is how we work out it. Now you know, when you substitute a value for x, real number for x, after simplifying this, finally we can take a single answer. Now I am going to assume that answer we get after simplifying for this as y. Understand? Y or any letter you like, or simple a also you can take. Okay, I take it as y. Okay, what is the y? Y is the answer we get when you simplify substituting real numbers for x. Common answer I am going to take for this one as y. Right? I take like this. Let y equals, right? Let y equals this x squared plus 14x plus 9 divided by x squared plus 2x plus 9. Okay. Okay. Now I am going to find out what is the maximum value of y and minimum value of y. Right? Then y is equal to this mean, people, the maximum value of y is the maximum value of this. Minimum value of y is the minimum value of this fraction, because these two are equal. Now what I do, people, by this we use the cross multiplication to this end. Then we get what? Y times x squared plus 2x plus 9 is equal to x squared plus 14x plus 9. Okay. Now first remove the bracket. Yx squared 2yx plus 9y. And take this right hand side terms to what left hand side? Minus x squared minus 14x minus 9 equals 0. Right? Now here you have x squared term and here we have x squared term. We'll take that x squared term out. Once you take this x squared term out, here we get y. When I take this out, people, here we get 1 with minus sign. Y minus 1 x squared. Right? And now take this x terms here. This term and this term. X terms, right? So take x out. Then here we have 2y because we take x out now. Here, when you take x out, minus 14x. Okay. Now the other terms are, people, this 9y and minus 9 equals 0. Right? Now, when you very carefully look at this equation, you can see, people, here we have x squared term, here we have x term. Then that is what? That is really, people, this equation is quadratic equation in x. Quadratic equation in x. Right? Then by solving this quadratic equation, we can take two answers for x. In order to get that way two answers for x, people, this equation should have what? Real roots. Answers of x mean the roots of this equation. In order to give real solutions for x, people, definitely the discriminant of this quadratic equation should be greater than or equal to 0. Understand? I'll repeat that again. We are given x is real. X is real means, people, when you solve this quadratic equation for x, the two roots of x should be real. You know, for roots to be real, the discriminant should be positive or 0. Understand? So then we make this discriminant greater than or equal to 0. Then we can write, since x is real, this is given, right? Delta should be greater than or equal to 0. Delta should be greater than or equal to 0. People, what is delta? B squared. B means the x coefficient. Right. 2y minus 14 perfect square. This is the b squared. Minus 4. A is this y minus 1. For A, C people this 9y minus 9 greater than or equal to 0. Right now, right? I can simplify it like this, people. Here, this 2 I can take out like this. 2 I take out from the bracket. When I take 2 out from here and here, this is minus 7. This square I write within this way, square bracket. People, here we can take this 9 out. Once I take this 9 now, that comes here with this 4 into 9 come. Now here we have y minus 1. Here also, after taking this 9 out, there we get y minus 1 greater than or equal to 0. Okay. Now we can square these people. 2 squared, 4. Y minus 7 squared. Right. Here, I keep 4. This 9 I can write as 3 squared. Y minus 1 into y minus 1 mean people y minus 1 perfect square greater than or equal to 0. Right? Now I can divide this inequality both sides by 4. Then when you divide this by 4, that divides and this 4 we can cancel down. When you divide this by 4, that divides and this 4 we can cancel down. When you divide 0 by 4 people, 0 divided by 4 is 0. When you divide 0 by any value, the answer is 0. Now I can write furthermore this thing, okay, y minus 7 perfect square. This square and this square we can write in one bracket like this, 3 times y minus 1 perfect square this way, greater than or equal to 0. Correct, no? Now people, here what do you have? A squared minus b squared form. A squared minus b squared, people, we can factorize using what? Difference of two squares. Then people, you get here very simple inequality that we discussed at the very beginning of this lesson. Using that, people, find the range of this y. Thereby you can determine the minimum value and maximum value of y. Understand, people? Right? I'll give 2 minutes, people. Just try this. Now this is a squared minus b squared. Then what are the factors? A minus b into a plus b. Y minus 7, a minus b. 3 times y minus 1. And a plus b. Y minus 7 plus 3 times y minus 1. Greater than or equal to 0. Like this we get. Now simplify this, people. Here we get minus 3y, here y, minus 2y coming. Here, minus 3 into minus 1. Here, plus 3, minus 7, minus 4. Here 3y and this y, 4y. Minus 7, minus 3, minus 10. Greater than or equal to 0. Right, people. I take minus 2 out from this bracket as common factor. Once you take minus 2 out, the bracket will be both positive. When you divide this and this both by 2, we get y plus 2, right? Y plus 2. And here take another 2 out. 2 is common, 2 times. Once you take 2 out, people, what do you get there? Divide this and this both by 2. Then we get 2y. Dividing 10 by 2, we get 5. Greater than or equal to 0. This 2 and this 2 make 4 minus 4 y plus 2 and 2y minus 5 greater than or equal to 0. Right, people? Now we multiply both sides by minus sign. Minus sign means minus 1. People, you know, here 10 greater than 5. This is true, no? When I multiply this by minus sign, that means minus 1. Now what do we get to the left hand side? Minus 10. Right hand side? Minus 5. Now what is bigger? Now the bigger number is this. That says, people, when we multiply this kind of inequality by minus sign, soon after multiplying by minus sign, the direction of this gets opposite. Like that here, when we multiply this both sides by minus sign, this minus and this minus, when you multiply this minus by this minus, minus minus plus, this thing coming, the direction this gets opposite. Understand, right? Yeah, then we get particle here 4 y plus 2 2y minus 5 less than or equal to 0. Right. People, here, when you multiply this with this 4, this is a number, no, people? This number we multiply with this 4. Then our answer is negative or 0. Then what could be the values this can take? When we multiply it by this 4, the answer is either negative or 0. Then what could be the value this can take? This should be either negative or, people, 0. Then only when it is multiplied by this 4, this product can be negative or 0. So therefore, people, I can write this implies that y plus 2 2y minus 5 less than or equal to 0. People, can you understand the way of finding the range for this kind of simple inequality we did at the very beginning of the lesson? Can you remember that? Yeah, what is that, people? Each bracket we have to equate to 0. Y plus 2 is equal to 0 and 2y minus 5 is equal to 0. Then this gives us y equals minus 2. Take this right hand side and divide by 2. Y is 5 by 2. Then what we do, people? These two values we have to mark on the number line, no? Right. Y is 5 by 2 and minus 2. Now, people, what we did after that? Yeah. Once we mark like this, these two values on the number line, this number line is divided into 3 parts. Less than minus 2, between minus 2 and 5 by 2, greater than 5 by 2. Okay. Since here we have equal sign, you know, people, we have to select these values. We have to color at those points. Right. Now what we do? From any range, there are 3 ranges, no? This and this. From any range, we take any value we like. And we substitute that value for this y in this inequality. And we simplify. We check whether that left-hand side answer satisfies with this. If so, we accept that region. If not, we reject that. Okay. Then I am going to take a value from this range. The easiest value, you know, in this range only 0 lies. Then I substitute for y in that inequality 0. Right? Once I put 0, where? Here, people. Oh, here, right. What do you get? Y plus 2, 2y minus 5 less than or equal to 0. Put y equals 0 there. Once you put y equals 0, 0 plus 2 is 2. Y equals 0, this is minus 5. 2 into minus 5 is minus 10. Minus 10 less than 0. No. This minus 10 people, minus 10 means less than 0. On the left hand side of 0 only minus 10 lies. So therefore, minus 10 less than 0, this is true. That means this sign here available. This sign becomes true. So therefore, this region we have to accept, because in this region only that substituted 0 lies. Like that, people, when we select one region as true, then the other adjacent regions will not be true. So therefore, we have to skip these two, saying that these two regions do not satisfy this inequality. Then y should be in the range this. And therefore, you can write, therefore, I write y here less than or equal to 5 by 2, greater than or equal to minus 2. Then people, can you tell me what is the maximum value this y can take? Y can go to up to here 5 by 2. What is the minimum value of this y can take? Minus 2. Understand? So then we can write, right? We can write, people, y max. Therefore, y max (5 by 2). Y min 2. Right? People, what is this? Right, people, now what is this y? Y was, people, can remember we took this y as what? What is y, people? Y was this, no? What? X squared plus 14 x plus 9 divided by this. This is y. Then what is the maximum value of this? 5 by 2. Maximum. Of this is what, people? 5 by 2. Why? This is the one we took as y. Y max we found to be 5 by 2. Next one, minimum of this. These people minus 2. This is how we take that maximum and minimum values. Right? Yeah. Right, people. Will come another one question. 83 part B. Take question number 83 part B. Take question number 83 part B. Right. Read the question, people. I need 2 minutes. Yeah, 83 part B, people. Yeah, they are given. A, B, and C are real numbers with A not equal to 0. A, B, C, real numbers. A not equal to 0. Right. Alpha is a root of this equation. a squared x squared plus bx plus c equals 0. This is a quadratic equation of people. One root of this quadratic equation given as alpha. Then people, if alpha is a root of that equation, then alpha should satisfy this equation. And then we can write, since alpha is a root of this equation, alpha should satisfy this equation. No, people. What is meant by satisfying? When I substitute alpha for this x, places of this x, people, the left hand side resulting statement should further be equal to what? 0. That is the meaning of a root satisfy the equation. Then we can write a squared alpha squared plus b alpha plus c is equal to 0. Number 1 take. Similarly, people, we are given another one. Another equation given as a squared x squared minus bx minus c equals 0. Since beta is a root, beta is a root of this equation. We can write what? A squared beta squared minus b beta minus c equals 0. This is number 2. This is number 2. Right. And people, this alpha and beta given like this. Alpha, beta, both are positive. The statement, see here, the given statement is this: alpha less than beta, alpha smaller than beta, and alpha greater than 0. What do you mean by this, people? Alpha greater than 0 means alpha positive. Beta greater than alpha means, people, beta should definitely be positive. Why? Beta is bigger than alpha. Alpha is positive. Then beta should definitely be positive. Then, people, if I mark this alpha and beta on the number line, here we have 0. Alpha is somewhere here. Beta greater than alpha means beta should be on the right of this alpha, like this. Okay, yeah. Now what is asking? Show that the equation, another quadratic equation given us, people. Another quadratic equation given us. What is the quadratic equation given us? It is a squared plus x squared plus 2bx plus 2c equals 0. You know, x squared term this has, x term it has. Therefore, this is a quadratic equation in x. This is a quadratic equation in x. People, now we are asked to show, people, this equation has a root, that root given as gamma. This equation has a root, the root given as gamma, that gamma lies between alpha and beta, right? In between this alpha and beta, somewhere between this alpha and beta, a root for this equation has that root taken as gamma. That's what, people, now we have to prove. Right. You know, people, now this one, y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. This is quadratic function. The corresponding graph is, people, minimum graph this way or maximum graph this way. We know that at the very beginning of the lesson we learned. People, by using this quadratic function, how did we form the quadratic equation? Putting for this y 0 only, people, we could produce that quadratic equation. Then conversely, people, when you are given this way a quadratic equation, how to obtain the corresponding quadratic function. Thing is this, people, the place of this 0, we have to write y. Then what do you get? Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. This is coming. Like that, this is the quadratic, what, people? Equation. Now, if I need to write the corresponding quadratic function, what I need to do is, people, for this place of 0, I have to put y. Understand? Now we need to prove for this quadratic equation has a root between alpha and beta. That's what we need to prove. Now I am going to take the corresponding quadratic function. Understand? Okay. Now write down the quadratic function for this quadratic equation is, substitute for this 0 y equals a squared x squared plus 2bx plus 2c. Right. People, now when we consider this way the quadratic function, its graph is this. Right? People, for a quadratic graph, how did we define the root? When the graph cuts the x-axis, at that point the x-coordinate only defined as the root. That is the root of the quadratic graph, and the same root is the root of the quadratic equation 2. Okay, so therefore, if I can show this graph, people, this graph is minimum graph. How do you know? People, x squared coefficient is a squared. Whatever the sign of a, that can be plus or minus, but after squaring that a squared, people, always positive. Then this x squared coefficient is positive. Then the corresponding graph is, people, minimum graph. Now, if I can show, when we draw this graph, the minimum graph, if this minimum graph, if I can show, cuts the x-axis between beta and alpha like this. If I can show this minimum graph cuts this x-axis, this is the x-axis, cuts this x-axis at a point which is between alpha and beta, then, people, this is the root. Now we need to show, people, this minimum graph cuts the x-axis at a point between alpha and beta. People, then, can somebody suggest me the method of showing the graph this cuts the x-axis between alpha and beta? Yes? Do you have any idea? People, this is the method. You can very clearly see when the minimum graph cuts this x-axis at a point between alpha and beta, people, right? Okay. Now here, look at this. When x equals beta, the y coordinate of the graph positive. When x equals alpha, the y coordinate of the graph is negative. Then you can very clearly see when x coordinate is alpha, y of the graph is negative. When we go to right, we reach x is beta, y is positive. Y coordinate of the graph changing from negative to positive. People, once this y coordinate is changing from negative to positive, one occasion, definitely that y coordinate should come to 0. In between alpha and beta, the y coordinate of the graph changing from negative to positive. From negative to positive, when this y coordinate changes, people, one occasion, y coordinate should be 0. That is the way of proving this. Then what we need to prove, people? At x equals beta of this y, we have to prove positive. At x equals alpha, we have to prove the y of this graph is negative. At alpha negative, at beta positive. Then when you move from alpha to beta, graph cuts the x-axis between somewhere between alpha and beta. Therefore, there should be a root. That is the logic, people. Right. Then what we do is this. I'm going to put here in this first x equals alpha. Secondly, x equals beta. I'm going to find the sign of this y. Correct, no, people? You can understand this logic, right? Okay. Then we can write it like this. Right. When x equals alpha, put that alpha here. Y equals a squared alpha squared 2b alpha plus 2c. I can write, people, a squared alpha squared, take this 2 out, b alpha plus c. People, you can very clearly understand. By number 1, we can subject this b alpha plus c, taking this to right hand side. By 1, we can write b alpha plus c is equal to, take this to right hand side, minus a squared alpha squared. This way we have, right? Put that way here. Then y equals a squared alpha squared plus 2 times b alpha plus c is minus, I put minus sign here, a squared alpha squared. Then what do you get? Y is equal to, here a squared alpha squared, here plus and minus make minus, people, minus 2 a squared alpha squared. See, people, if we take this a squared alpha squared as x, what do you have here? X minus 2x. It is minus 6 minus a squared alpha squared. People, you know here, this a squared alpha squared I can write as a alpha perfect squared. A alpha perfect squared. You know, perfect square is always, people, positive. So this is positive. That positive value, when you multiply by this minus sign, we get for y what? Y negative. Y is negative. Y is negative. That means, people, when x equals alpha, the graph lies below the x-axis. Y negative is that. Similarly, we will find when x equals beta. What is y? Right. Find that, people. Find that. When x equals beta, find that. When x equals beta, what do you get? Y equals a squared beta squared 2b beta plus 2c. Take this 2 out, b beta plus c. People, by number 2, this minus b beta and minus c, when you take to right hand side, both will be plus, no? Then what do you get? A squared beta squared is equal to b beta plus c. By number 2, you can write, people, A squared beta squared is equal to B beta plus C. That says what? This equals, this means B beta plus C is equal to A squared beta squared. A squared beta squared. That I'm going to put where here. Right. Right, people. Now I erase this, right? Right. Now, then we can write. Then you can write, people, that y equals A squared beta squared plus 2 times B beta plus C is this A squared beta squared. This is now, people, y is 3 A squared beta squared. People, this one we can write y 3 times A beta perfect squared. This is, people, positive. Positive something multiplied by 3 is positive. Y is positive. Y positive, right? Y is positive. Right. Now we know, people, this graph is a minimum graph. Now I can draw a rough sketch of this. We can draw a rough sketch of this, right? Graph is minimum graph, right? Somewhere here we have alpha. Somewhere here we have beta. At alpha, this is negative. We proved that. At beta, this is positive. We proved that. Then the graph is increasing from negative to positive. At x equals alpha negative, x equals beta positive. Then in between that two, you can see the graph cuts the x-axis. Therefore, definitely, the graph, this has a root between alpha and beta. If the graph has the root, definitely, people, the quadratic equation should have the same root. Understand? Then you can write. Just draw this diagram. Therefore, graph cuts the x-axis at a point between alpha and beta. Therefore, the given quadratic equation has a root between alpha and beta, right? Therefore, you can write. Therefore, the equation, this has a root gamma, or has a root that is given as gamma between alpha and beta. This is how we prove that part, people.